Welcome back, YouTube. This is the Gamer Dude Abides, and we're back in Final Upgrade for another tutorial. Now, if you remember last time, we set it up so that we could mine, deliver iron to this place right here, and it would provide us with energy. Let's go ahead and top ourselves back off. Alright, today we're going to automate this mining process so that we don't have to do it ourselves. Now, that's going to require a couple additions to what we've got going on here, but we'll take care of that. And we're going to do this in two different ways. First thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our ship back over, and we're going to move them down here so it's a little closer to the ore. And we're going to start setting up this iron ore to here. Alright, so as we remember, those little guys are going to go mine, and it's going to process, and it's going to give us the iron we can build with. Now, in the past, we've always hit M and we've clicked on where we want to go back to if we want to look at a different spot on the map. Well, there's another way to do that. We can hit Tab on the keyboard, and that will take us to the last map section we were in. So we can flip back and forth if we're working on two separate sections. All right, so we're going to take this concept we've got going here, and we're going to expand it just a little bit. If we hit B, as you remember, brings up the build menu. We're going to start with our wall segment, and we're going to extend this up to give us a little bit more space. And now we're going to go to machines. We're going to pick up our extractor, and we're going to pop that right there. Now, when you place something down, like this extractor, it's red right here because there's nothing underneath it. If I put it next to something that's already there, it will not only create the machine, but it will create the ground underneath it as well. If you've already got a section like that, you can place it over here or next to it or whatever. As long as there's support built back to the station core, it will continue it out. So let's get rid of that again. All right, so now we've got our extractor. What we're going to do is we're going to tell it we want iron. So now this extractor is going to make iron and drop it off onto here, which is going to push it into here. Let's extend this up a little bit further. Replace our storage. And this storage, we're going to tell it we want iron ore. And then we're going to finish it off with the pneumo tubes from here to there, and then from here to there. Now, the way you do the pneumo tubes is you can just start clicking and dragging, and it will automatically create the arrows in the direction that you're dragging. The way I started with here, if you start inside the machine and drag out, it will create the connection already. Now, what if we placed a pneumo tube? Now, you see how that's not connected right now? We can right-click on the pneumo tube and then click on whichever side we want, and we can add the arrow to it. We don't need these two spots for what we're getting ready to do. Not yet. All right, so let's take a look at our mining ship. It's almost done. Once it's finished, we get our pop-up telling us it's done mining. We're going to hit J while we're hovering over it. We're going to bring it back over here. And now we're going to tell it to finish building this section right here. So it's going to build all that up. And now, if we were to deliver iron ore to here, it's going to process it, send it down to the planet, and the planet's going to give us more oil. Pretty neat, huh? Now, that still doesn't solve the problem we have of, I don't want to keep doing this manually. So what we're going to do today is we're going to hit U. Then we're going to go in here to Blueprints. We're going to go into our library, and we're going to pick this miner. It's a basic miner. It's no frills. It'll do the job. When you click on it, it brings it up. We're going to hit Build. We want it made out of iron. We're just going to pop it right here, and we're going to call this Autologic miner logic. Then we're going to tell our ship to build it. These guys will get through it pretty quick. I like watching this. It's one of my favorite parts of these styles of games, watching bots and the automation work. Alright, so it's told us it's done building. Good. We're going to go ahead and load it up with energy. Now you notice this is taking all, the station is losing all of its energy and it's filling us up. Now, the transfer is not instantaneous. It's going to start transferring the energy, but because this has a generator, you're going to notice by the time it's done, there's still some left, so it's going to continue processing. Now, what we need to do now is we're going to right-click on this, and we're going to go to Follow. That will tell us, or that will allow us to watch this machine as it works. Now we're going to right-click on it, we're going to go to Autologic, and we're going to go to Miner. Oh, no mining routes are created. That's because we haven't told it where to get the iron ore from yet. So, to do that, we're going to hit F on our keyboard. That brings up the selection of all the different things we can make. We're interested in iron ore at the moment. So we're going to click that. And you'll notice it says we have green means that there is a supply of it. This has a deposit on this planet, as we discovered before. This is our asteroid. And this 0/100, that means it wants 100 iron ore. Why does it only want 100? Well, if we look, this storage container here can only hold 100. So that's what it's going to try to fill. All right, so let's go back to F, hit iron ore, and we're going to click on the asteroid, and we're going to drag out. It's going to give us this little arrow. We could go to here, we go to here, we go anywhere we want. We're going to put it right here and let go. See, it says priority for a batch of 50. We'll cover that later, but basically that's the, it'll focus on this one at a 4 before it'll do one that we have at an 8. And batch of 50 means that it will mine up 50 and bring it back. Our little ship we got going here can only hold about 50. Now that we've got that set up, we're going to right click on it. We're going to go to Autologic, and we're going to go to Miner. Now you see it says mining iron ore 50. It knows that there's a batch of 50 waiting to be picked up and dropped off. It's going to come over here on its own, and it's going to start mining. Now we're going to speed this up so that it'll fill up a little bit faster. Once it gets filled up or close to it, let's back it back down to 4. All right, now it's full. It jumps back over. It drops it off. Processing's happening automatically, and it goes back and does it again. Now I'm going to hit Shift J to stop following, and we're going to just let this one do its thing. Now, that's good and all, but there's another way we can do this as well. The next way we can use is called the Autologic Waypoint. For that, we're going to go back in and we're going to use the same ship. We're going to build it, and we're just going to pop it here. This is going to be Waypoint Logic Miner. Uh-oh, we're out of this. So let's jump back over to here. Now, we're going to steal some of this iron ore from there. And we're also going to move this one. Remember, hover over it, press L. Press R to rotate the direction it's flipped. That's going to transfer all the iron ore it's already mined. And now we're going to set this to help mine here. Bump this up to 4. And we're going to keep stealing from... Oh, no. We're going to keep stealing from this to fill this up. Bump it up a little bit more. Steal some more. Once this is full, again, all right, bump this back down to, we'll leave it at ×2. This is full, so we're going to jump back over here. and we're going to tell it to finish building this out. I'm going to bump it up so it goes a little bit faster. Now, we're going to modify this ship a little bit. So what we're going to do first, you hit K. K is going to show us that it's going to put iron ore in this entire section right here, which is what we want. What we're going to do, hit K again, we are going to come over here real quick. We're going to hit B to build again, and we are going to add a little bit more there. We're going to put some pneumo tubes to there. Let's go ahead and build that up. Now, we want to put our ship right here, but this is in the way. If we hit X, that makes that ship to get out of the way so that we can move this one. Now we're going to hit L while we're hovering over this to do the local movement. Now you remember that little section right there. Oh, this is out of energy. We never filled it up. So let's go ahead and fill this up. We're going to hit L, and we're going to put it right there. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to go back into building. We're going to take the pneumo tubes. We're going to start from here. We're going to go this way. We're going to delete this portion right there. We're going to drag that down. Let me move this off just a little bit. There we go. We can't do that because it's going to think that we want them to join together as one unit, and we do not. So hit B again, pneumo tubes. We're going to drag this to there, and then we're going to do the same this way. Now what this is going to do, if we hit L again, and we'll put it right back there, anything that's in this bay is going to get loaded onto these tubes and pushed down into there. Now one thing you'll note, if there's a piece of iron ore here, it'll get sucked into the tube and pushed along. Same if there's a piece of iron ore here, it'll get sucked into the tube and pushed along. If there's iron ore here, it'll just sit there on top of that tube. So what we need to do is we need to right click on the tube. We're going to do like we did earlier, and we're just going to add that little bit right there. And now we're going to copy that tube setting all the way across. We're not going to do it on this one because this one needs a different setup. It needs to be coming from both sides, go down, and it needs to come from the top. Now these over here, we're going to change this. So now all the way across, it's going to suck in all the iron. Let's go ahead and finish building this. There we go. Let's get this out of the way again. Now, that's just telling us it's done building. What we're going to do is we're going to right click on this one. We're going to go to Autologic, and we're going to go to Waypoints this time. Hit Waypoints, and we're going to click plus. That creates a waypoint at my current location. Now, this is telling us it's station mark cab, and it's going to give us a condition. The condition, we're going to go until it's empty. 3 seconds is fine, because what it's going to do, it's going to pop in here, it's going to start unloading. And as long as there's movement, as long as the ore is being transferred and something's happening, it'll just sit there. Once that stops, either the mining vessel is empty, or it has enough iron ore that it doesn't need anymore at this moment, then it'll pop off and do the next step. So we got the first part set up. Let's set up the second part. The second part, we're going to hover over it, press J. We're going to come down here. Now let's move this up to here. And we're going to right click on it, Autologic Waypoints. We're going to add another waypoint right here. So that means it's now going to bring us to Markheb 2 at this station. And we're going to change this to wild mining. And now this is set up. So we're going to right click on it. We're going to click follow. And now we're going to right click on it. We're going to resume Autologic Waypoints. So first it's going to come over here because that's the first waypoint it had. It's going to try to unload 3 seconds. Now it's going to back over here. And these guys are going to go out and they're going to mine. I'm going to bump this up so that we can get this full. You know what? Let's steal some from here just so. All right. Let's bump this back down. Let them finish. All right. So now it's full. It's going to jump back over. Oh, something didn't happen right. Well, you see this one here doesn't have the down arrow. So let's add that to it real quick. There we go. Now it's going to offload. While it's offloading, once it's done offloading, 3 seconds later, it'll pop over and it'll start mining again. So now we've got 2 different ways to automate the gathering of iron ore. Let's hit Shift J so we can stop following that guy. We've got this guy here with the route, and he's just going to keep doing it forever, and he'll pop over here and offload it. The other guy is going to mine and then transfer what it mines, and we'll see it pop in here again in a second. See, that one popped in and just transferred it. The next one, he pops in, he drops it off. There you go. So that's 2 different methods to automate the bringing of iron ore to this station to continue our production of oil and power to keep us going. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to set up a loop using some of our other planets. Have a good evening.